Hello and welcome to Tragic Thespians. Today I'm joined by not one, but two very special guests, Olivia Ruggiero and Carly Fisher. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So for those at home, they need to know that we have tried and tried again to really book this interview in, and it took a lot out of us. So we're all very happy to finally be doing this at 9 p.m. on a Monday night.
But we're here and we love it.
That's
We're
right.
so excited.
Now, these beautiful ladies, they are putting on a wonderful show that I'm very, very excited about. It's called Broadway Diva. Now, Olivia, an opera and musical theatre singer, stars in it. A cabaret featuring Broadway Belt, co-created and directed by celebrated director Carly Fisher. Broadway Diva is a show for musical lovers and Broadway novices alike. I'm a huge Broadway nerd, so I absolutely support this. Which song are both of you more excited about sharing with the audience?
I feel like, okay, so here's the thing, right? We're going to talk about the song, which is the Tootsie song that everyone loves so much, because there's actually an amazing story behind this. So this song is a really intense patter song. For those that don't know what a patter song is, it's a lot of words really, really fast. And I actually didn't choose the song. The lovely director, Carly, Carly chose the song. And she sort of came to me because we did my last show together, Puppets, and I did some patter in that, and Carly was like, oh, Liv's funny and she talks fast. Let's see how far we can push that. And she brought me this song and she was like, I think you can do this because it's really quite complex. It's hard. And I listened to it. I'd never heard it before. And I literally remember messaging her back and going, nah, you're insane. And she was like, no, I really think this will be great. The audience will love it. Can you please learn it? So just for total transparency, it normally takes me about 90 minutes to 2 hours to learn a song. It took me 3 to 4 hours to learn this one. That's how complex it is. I was not happy, Jan. I was messaging Carly throughout learning it going, I hate this. How dare you make me suffer like this? But at the end of the day, it's got to be in the top 3 favorite songs to perform in the show.
You were so close to giving me that one.
I was so close. I'm not going to give you this up.
So close. So it's definitely my favorite in the show. And I think that as well as it being just something really different, I think, particularly when we say Olivia is an opera singer, and she's a beautiful opera singer, but that comes with this stigma of what an opera singer might be, the way that they'd hold themselves, the speed that they'd move at, the resonance, the grace, the etc., etc., etc. There's so many ideas of what an opera singer has to be. And what I love about this is that we totally challenge that. We say, yeah, sure, she's going to sing you an amazing opera aria next. But before that, how about a little patter comedic moment where you just see a completely different side of this amazing talent? And as well as that, I think that what the audience loves so much about this one is that the song follows the journey of an actor. And it's about the audition process. It's about how hard the industry is. It's about how even though, you never actually want to turn up at an audition, you're going to go anyway because there's nothing else you want to do on planet Earth. And I think that just the actual story of this song really resonates with our audience and with us. And I think that's, people feel the passion that we have, not just for this story, but for the concept in general. And that's what makes people love Broadway Diva in general. So yeah, that's definitely that's the song I'm most excited to continue sharing city to city to city. But the other thing that's really exciting about what we're doing is that Liv and I evidently are both suckers for punishment, and we just didn't want to write one show and call it a day. We instead are changing the song list in every city. So we have our poignant moments, we have our particular storyline, we've got those chunks that never change, but then we want you to come on the journey with us. It's never the same show. So if you saw the show when we did it last month in Sydney, it's totally different this month in Sydney. You can come again and see something brand new. So Next week this week we opened in Sydney.
2
Oh my
days,
God.
hun. 2 days.
This week we opened in Sydney, and we actually have 5 brand new songs and coming onto the show just for these 3 shows, and then they're gone again. Like, we really are trying to keep it fresh. We're trying to make sure it's very relevant either to the venue that we're performing in, or last weekend we did Avoca, and that was the Mother's Day weekend. So we added Me in the Sky in from Come From Away to celebrate the strong women role models in our life. And so, you know, we just want to keep it fresh for ourselves, for our audience. And also, how can you ever put a cap on how many earworms you want to include? We can't. So this is our way to do them all.
Yeah, it's really impossible to pick songs to go into a show called Broadway Diva where you're celebrating music theatre. Like,
and earworms in particular, those songs that get stuck in your head that you can't get out. That's the whole concept of the show. It's a celebration of those and of the incredible talented musicians and lyricists and composers and sound engineers, everyone who has made the music happen. It's our thank you for the music show.
That's beautiful. Please go.
in it, like, it's thank you for the music, but there's no ABBA.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I take my hats off to the both of you for really trying to keep everything fresh and not sticking to something. We do it to ourselves, don't we? The creatives, we love.
We totally do. But I think that what's exciting about that, I mean, you know, often when we mention that, we talk about it in relation to the audience and how fresh it keeps it for them. I think what's exciting for us too is how much that pushes us. And I'm sure, you know, I'm sure you have a large portion of thespians who listen to this podcast. So, you know, you'll all understand us too, you know, when we say we need to do this to ensure that we are consistently, creatively pushing ourselves, that we are professionally developing in every city. We're not resting on our laurels. We instead analyze what worked and what didn't work after every show. What really sat with the audience, what didn't. How can we improve it? How can we grow from this experience? And based on that growth and pushing ourselves, we keep making the show better and better. And so maybe by 2027, we'll hit that perfect mark. But until then, we're just going to keep going and making sure that, you know, we use this opportunity to become the best creatives that we can be throughout the process. And I don't know that many cabarets where you necessarily get to do that on. And so that's something that we've really tried to build into this process for ourselves. We're going to grow as thespians while we're on the way.
I love that. I always advocate that you're never done learning. No matter if you think you're finished, go back to the start, because there's always something new to take out of every single show, every single piece, everything. Just push yourselves and like the things that we're capable of when we do that. Amazing.
100%. I've been saying this a lot too lately, that what excited me about coming into Cabaret, because I've done a lot of plays up until now. I've done musicals in the past, but certainly theatre travels and my role as the artistic director there, I've predominantly focused on plays. So we've done 22 plays, and now number 23 is finally a cabaret. It brings me back to my personal love, which I have always been a musical theatre girl. So it's beautiful to come back to it. But the reason I wanted to come into this realm and step, you know, to not away from, but just slightly to the side of the plays for a few months, is really just, I felt that I got to a point where I was answering a lot of questions in every room that I was in, but not necessarily asking as many. And I want to make sure that I'm always in an environment where I have to ask and I don't just have the answer. So that's been really fun too. And, you know, entering this world of music again has been, I just want to learn. I want to grow. I want to create more. And then bringing in everything that we've learned along the way, both of us, in everything else that we do. It's exciting. It's fun. It's good to be doing something different.
Yeah, I think so. Like, well, I mean, Carly certainly pushed me when she asked for that Tootsie song. I discovered I was capable of something that I really didn't think was possible. But it's also, for me, like, it's sort of proving to myself that I can do this, and it's stamina as well as an artist and as a singer. Big stamina. This show is like how to have vocal cords of steel 101. It's and just that, it's also a mental game, like, and I often say that to my students, and I'm constantly having that conversation with myself about mind over matter, like just that idea, that positive of you can do this and you will do this and it will be excellent, and you just got to keep projecting that, because the second you tell yourself you can't is when you stop being able to do it and stop being able to function. And I think that that's something that stifles creativity so much, and it's something that stops creatives from progressing and learning, that mental track in your head that's just got that sort of anxiety and that negativity. But yeah, this show is definitely, I mean, this show is so joyous, so it's so easy to be positive on this show and go, I can do this, and this is bringing me joy and it's bringing other people joy, and
but it's hard.
It's hard. It is hard. There is absolutely no denying it.
It is such a big thing.
It's really stupid how big this thing is. But
I think that also, it's things like so Liv and I co-created the show. And then of course we hold our individual roles. Liv is the performer and I'm the director. But we both had to step aside from, we're each wearing two hats, and we had to at some point go, well, the creators come first. So even though we would each like particular some things, I'd like some things different from the directorial standpoint. I'm sure, actually, I know for certain, there are things that I'm sure Liv would love to move as the performer to make things less torturous on the vocal cords. But ultimately, we've both made that decision that first and foremost, we wrote the show. And first and foremost, we are the creators. And therefore, for example, our finale number is a very, very, very unfair sing to a performer right at the end of an hour and a half of hell. But
it's me.
Story-wise, it's the best song. So story-wise,
we try it. We played that Tetris game where we're like, can we move this so I feel like I'm dying at the end of this hour and a half? And the answer was no. And
just narrative, it didn't work.
So you have to, as a performer, I had to suck it up, and there's things that as a director, Carly sort of had to go, oh well, I'll forfeit that, because like there's got to be some give and take, and narrative wise that does work. So it's very much it's a collaboration. It's our love child. It's the love child.
I love that. I really do love that you had to come to learn again. We're all learning today. Come to learn that what does come first and what's more important for the show and for the audience to enjoy it. And I love that you, even though, like you said, the ending is hard, you understand it's the best thing for the show and to conclude it story-wise. So you're just forfeiting, you're going.
And that's quite a hard thing to do when you think about, like, Liv, and we both actually first and foremost performance trained, right? We grew up singing and dancing and acting. So you'd think that part would come first. For me, directing is something I fell into at only the uni age, but it's my greatest love. Like, it's obviously for me where I was supposed to go in this industry. I just didn't know it as a kid. I didn't know what that role entailed. So, we both had to put our first loves aside to go in pursuit of this bigger idea and go, oh, well, we're writers now. We're creatives now. We'll have to do this. So yeah, it's not the most natural thing to do either when, you have a primary passion in the industry or a primary avenue in the industry, and it's not necessarily your first choice, but it is definitely a very exciting and also a very rewarding challenge.
I love that. I can honestly relate to that, because growing up and being an actor first, it was very hard for me to even start this podcast with the intention, I'm the producer, I'm the host, I have to do everything. And it was a lot of work. And it wasn't till I threw myself in it, and I still haven't had a weekend to myself all year, and I love it. And I'm like, you know what, this is what's good. And you find that different role within you. And now I do producing as my full-time job alongside with performing. So no sleep, 2 hours sleep, but that's what we do to ourselves. And it's again with that constantly learning, even when we do push our first love aside. So I really respect that from a personal point, that I know what that's like. It is a lot of work, but it is very rewarding.
But how cool is it when you push the first love slightly to the left and realize that there's an almost equal love just waiting right behind it?
That's
how
right.
lucky is that? That's a pretty cool opportunity, I think, for all of us to get to discover. And I think it sounds like all three of us have. So lucky us.
A lot of love affairs here.
That's the arts. Showman.
That's right. I love that. Which I suppose, I know the answer, but I would like to ask you anyway, just in case there is a slightly different answer. Which city are you more excited for? Is it the obvious Edinburgh, or is it back home in Bathurst?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Answer carefully, my friend.
It's like Sophie's choice. Oh my gosh. What am I gonna do?
Answer what?
Okay, so there is
Oh, you go first.
There is a diplomatic answer to this. Okay. So I love Scotland. I love going to Edinburgh last year. I love the UK. I love the fact that I get to perform internationally. I love that that's where my career has taken me. If you had told me 5 years ago that that's where I would have ended up, I would have laughed at you. Like, Liv 5 years ago would have thought that was a joke. She would have been like, yeah, sure, as if. But I love it, and I love getting to do it with Carly. I love touring with Carly. Obviously, otherwise we wouldn't have come back for round 2. That would have been totally insane. But I haven't performed at home in almost 10 years. And so there is something really special, and I'm like so emotional about the idea of going back home and performing at the very first place that I discovered my love for music theatre, which is St. Stanislaus College in Bathurst, where I donned a red dress as Nancy and Oliver, a red dress that I still have, by the way. It doesn't fit me, but I have it.
I wish it did.
I wish I did too. What a moment. But yeah, like, there is something incredibly nostalgic and important and emotional about that, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm so excited too because my grandpa, who hasn't seen me perform in years because he's obviously a lot older now and can't travel readily, he is getting to see the show because I'm bringing it home. And so I'm so excited for that. And my grandma is the same. She'll get to see the show. So like, it's hard because I suppose there's a lot of excitement and energy behind Edinburgh, and that opportunity is insane. Like, it's so exciting, but at the same time, that heart piece and that love that I have for home is, yeah, look, it's much of a muchness, to be honest with you, but I'm excited to share it to 2 very different audiences as well, because the audience in Bathurst is not going to be the same audience that we obviously have in Edinburgh in any way, shape, or form. Like, Bathurst is a home ground advantage for me, where people that haven't seen me perform in 10 years are finally getting to again, and that's super exciting. But these people in Edinburgh are, they're international, and I can't wait to see how the show translates to an international audience.
I'm going to go totally different, and I'm going to actually say Darwin for me. I am really, really looking forward to Darwin. I have never been up to Darwin, so there's obviously like the excitement of just being in a new place. Something that because I'm touring with a couple shows at the same time at the moment. So I jump from one tour to the other tour, and then I fly back to the other city and I meet again, etc., etc. It's a lot going on at the moment in my life, but yeah, I'm currently on tour with 2 different shows. And being on tour with 2 shows at the same time has really allowed me to see a lot of new places. So something that I set myself as like my 2023 goal was really to find a dream theatre in each state and make it happen. And I did it, and I didn't actually expect that I would necessarily get to go to all of them, but at the moment it's only Western Australia that won't be in 2023. That'll be 2024. All the other cities, all the other theatres that I had emoji love heart-eyed at the beginning of the year are happening. Darwin is also a huge opportunity for me as a producer to step into an entirely new world. It's the first time I've sold the show. So they're presenting at the Darwin Entertainment Centre. They've given us this amazing opportunity and are flying us up there to go and share it with their audience. So there's something really, really exciting about going. Neither of us have been, let alone have a home ground advantage. We're far from that, may as well be overseas. But instead, we're going to have this opportunity to partner with this enormous and beautiful theatre. Like, we did the first iteration of Broadway Diva was in a garden in Adelaide, at the Adelaide Fringe Festival. And within 5 months, the show is going to be in a 300-seat state theatre, like the Darwin Entertainment Centre. That is mind-blowing to me. So I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to them for the opportunity, for them reaching out and saying, you know, Adelaide seems to be going well. What about us? And that was such a unique experience as a producer that I'm going to go with Darwin is where I'm most excited to go. I can't wait to go and meet their audience because they know their audience so well. We now are walking into this incredible opportunity, and grateful doesn't cut it. So yeah, I'm going Darwin. But Melbourne, we're really excited for you too. Sorry, don't feel left out.
Oh my gosh. So sorry, Melbourne. Oh my gosh. But also, can I just say, Carly's excited for Darwin because Carly likes a bit of warm weather and she's terrified about going to Bathurst in June.
I'm terrified.
Absolutely terrified.
I literally just took 4 coats to the dry cleaner and I'm taking all 4 to Bathurst. One weekend.
Do you think we'll need like
So
do you think we'll need space heaters in the hall? Like, should I get my own small heater? And I'm like, oh, hun. Oh, hun.
Yes, I'm packing my car full of little space heaters just in case anyone in the audience feels the cold like I do.
Always
Bathurst in June. Who does this? Who did this to me?
I did.
I agree with
you. Got
this.
I got Bathurst in winter. That's the exchange.
I'm looking forward. I haven't been to Bathurst properly since like year 6 when I went gold panning like every other year 6 Australian student. So I'm pretty keen to go and see that, you know, there are people that aren't making damper.
Yep. I remember my good old damper. I still taste it in my mouth. It was delicious.
Thirstians, I am so sorry to everyone who had to that in year 6. Please consider the public apology on behalf of Bathurst.
Well, you heard it here
we all
first.
love
Olivia
panning for some sequins. Gold sequins.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. We will be in touch for all the exciting things.
Thank you for fitting us in at 9 p.m. on a Monday because we all have completely competing schedules.
Absolutely. We
Actually, it's you two. It's you two.
It's so not. I'm sorry. I will not be blamed for this.
So available.
That's all right.
This is great. We made it. We're here, and it's awesome just to get to talk about how much we love the industry and how much we love being part of it. I think is the biggest thing for both of us. Where, you know, we've both had the opportunity to do a lot at this point, but we're still early, you know, early enough in that the best part about the entire industry is just getting to be with other creatives and getting to, you know, be inspired by others and other people's work. And we both review, we see as much as we possibly can to continue, you know, bettering ourselves too from learning from others. So it comes back to what you were saying, learning. So it's great to get to talk about all of that. And mention that Broadway Diva's going around Australia.
That's
all my love heart emoji theatres. We'll see you next year.
Yes, absolutely. So everyone at home, it will be showing at Bathurst on June the 9th and 10th at 7:30 p.m. Melbourne, June the 13th to 17th at 7 p.m. Darwin, June 22nd and 23rd. That's at 7:30 p.m. And Edinburgh, August 14th to 17th at 11:40 a.m. Like these lovely ladies said, you've got the morning and then you got all day to enjoy everything else.
Exactly.
Well, we
Who
can't
doesn't
wait.
love some Broadway tunes with their morning coffee?
Exactly.
I
Breakfast
do.
and a show.
Show. That's amazing.
Let's do that. It sounds like we need croissants. I'll work on it.
Pastries. Keep it classy.
Not for you, you're singing, but the rest of us are fine.
I'll just watch everyone eat their pastries. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll save you one.
Thanks.
I'm kind like that. Thank you so much. This has been
Thank
great.
you. It's been a pleasure, and we cannot wait how far this goes.
Thank you.